Level 1, the Paro. You're 13 years old. You live in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods on the planet. At school, you're invisible. At home, your mother is never there. She's always working. On the street, you don't count for anything. But those guys on the corner, the ones in blue and white, they count. You can tell by the way people walk when they cross them. You can tell by the eyes of those who look at them. You've been watching them like that for months. And one day you decide to get closer, but not to ask to join. That's the first thing you need to understand. Walking up to MS-13 and asking to be part of them would be the most disrespectful thing you could do. So you post up on the corner where they hang out. You run to the store when they need something. You hold packages without asking what's inside. Nobody officially tells you what your job is. You figure it out yourself. They call you Paro. It means lookout. Your only job is to keep watch. If you see the police, you send a message. If you see Barrio 18, you run and warn them. You stand on that corner for hours. You make $0. You go home and you don't say a word about what you saw. Because this is the real test, not physical, mental. They want to know if you can keep your mouth shut. If anyone asks you questions about what goes on in that neighborhood, a teacher, a cop, anyone, you know nothing, you saw nothing, you don't know anyone. 6 months pass, you never slipped once. And one night, one of the older guys pulls you aside and asks you a question. You want in? You've known for months what happens next, and you nod anyway. Level 2, the Brico. They take you to an alley. It's dark. 13 members form a circle around you. The rule is simple. You have to survive 13 seconds with all of them attacking you at once. You can't fight back, you can't run, you can't beg. You stand there and you take it. The count starts and the first punch hits your jaw, so hard your vision flashes white. Before you can even catch your breath, a boot catches your ribs and you feel something crack. You're on the ground without remembering going down. Blood has a metallic taste in your mouth and the faces around you become blurry shapes. The hits keep coming. They don't stop. And just when you think you won't make it to the end. 13. Everything stops. Someone pulls you up. And the same hands that were just destroying you hug you. They call you brother. They give you a name, not your real name, a street name. Flaco, Smiley, Diablo. That name is your identity now. Your old name belongs to a person who no longer exists. And then come the tattoos. Every MS-13 member is required to tattoo themselves as permanent proof of loyalty. Every tattoo tells a story. Where you are, how long you've been in, what you've done. They're not decorations, they're a language. MS on the forehead means you're completely in, with no possibility of going back. The number 13 on the neck, devil horns on the hands, and the most feared of all, a teardrop tattooed under the eye. That means you've killed someone. You can't refuse, you can't hide them. They're there forever, visible to the police, to rival gangs, to anyone who crosses your path on the street. And once you have them, there's no more maybe. No more I'm having second thoughts. That tattooed skin follows you everywhere for the rest of your life. You make nothing. But you have something that right now feels more valuable than money. You have protection. You have a family. What you don't have and what nobody tells you is a way out. Blood in, blood out. It's not a saying. It's a contract. And you just signed it with your body. Level 3, the soldier. You've been jumped in for about a year. You've proven you can be trusted. And now you get your first real assignment. You're a soldier. And your job is to move product. The operation is clean. Someone leaves a package behind a dumpster. You pick it up without opening it, without looking inside, without asking a single question. You walk 3 blocks. You knock twice on a door. You hand over the package. You leave. $200 a week. You buy new shoes, a chain. You start walking differently. The street feels like yours now. But here's the part that changes everything. If a cop stops you with that package on you, you're going to juvenile detention. MS-13 won't pay your bail. They won't send a lawyer. They won't call your mother. You do your time alone and you keep your mouth shut. Because if you talk, if you give up a single name, a single address, they'll find out. And they'll find you. Even inside. And when you're not moving packages, the work doesn't stop. A store owner refuses to pay protection. You and 3 others walk in with baseball bats. The following week he pays. A Barrio 18 member gets spotted in your territory. You grab a weapon and you go. This is the level where most people stop being people and become something else. Level 4, the Veterano. You served 18 months in county jail for assault. You sat across from detectives for hours. They offered you deals, threatened you with more charges, told you your friends had already talked. You said nothing, and when you got out, they threw you a party. Now you're a veterano, and the game changes completely. You don't move packages anymore. You don't stand on corners. You have younger soldiers doing that. They bring the money up to you. You take your cut and pass the rest to the Polero above you. You control 3 blocks. You decide who sells, who pays, and who keeps quiet. You make $600 a week. You have a used car, an apartment, a girlfriend. For the first time in your life, it feels like the system is working in your favor. But there's a side to this level you didn't expect. When a soldier starts skimming money or talks too much, you're the one who has to sort things out. Sometimes a conversation is enough. Sometimes it takes a beating. And sometimes that person disappears and nobody asks questions. You're also in a database now. Law enforcement has your face. If anything happens in your territory, detectives knock on your door first. You tell yourself that one day you'll get out, that you're just waiting for the right moment, that you still have control over your life. You don't. You never did. Level 5, the Polero. You've been shot twice, arrested 6 times, done 2 stints in prison, and you never broke. Not once. That's why they give you this. You're the Polero now, the leader of your local clique. 40 soldiers answer directly to you. You don't control 3 blocks anymore, you control an entire neighborhood. You hold weekly meetings. The veteranos come to you with problems. You listen, you decide, and your word is law. If you say someone gets jumped out, it happens before the night is over. If you mark someone for death, that sentence will be carried out. You don't pull triggers anymore. You just talk. Between $5,000 and $10,000 passes through your hands every week. You change cars often, you never frequent the same places, you try not to have routines. Because routines make you predictable, and predictable in this world means vulnerable. But despite all of this, you don't sleep well. You haven't for years. Because every veterano under you is waiting for the right moment. He knows the only way to move up is to take you out, and you know it too. So you keep a gun under your pillow, you change where you sleep every few days, and you don't completely trust anyone, especially your girlfriend. The feds will look for her, contact her, and do everything they can to convince her to talk. And they often succeed. Level 6, the Ranful. You're the Ranful now, regional leader. You don't control a neighborhood anymore. You control MS-13 operations across an entire city. 5 or 6 Poleros report directly to you. You oversee hundreds of soldiers without knowing most of their names. You're not on the streets anymore. You operate from the shadows, different locations every week, constant phone rotation, conversations that never happen on lines that could be tapped. You manage the supply chain, negotiate with the cartels, set prices, and control distribution. And then there's the biggest problem, the money. MS-13 generates millions in cash that can't be deposited or explained. So you open legitimate businesses, a car wash, a construction company, a nightclub. The money flows through them and comes out clean on the other side. To your neighbors, you look like a successful businessman. To the FBI, you're the target of an active federal investigation that's been running for 2 years. You know about the investigation. That's why you never talk business on the phone. Every conversation that matters happens in person, in parking lots, in moving cars. You carry the weight of hundreds of people's decisions, and you know that one single mistake, yours or anyone below you, can bring everything crashing down. Level 7, the shot caller. They finally got you. 3 years of surveillance, dozens of intercepted phone calls, a case built piece by a federal task force. The judge reads the sentence. 30 years, no possibility of parole. You will die in this building. But here's the thing the feds didn't understand. Prison is not the end of MS-13. It's where MS-13 has the most power. Within a week, you're already the point of reference for every MS-13 member in the facility. You become the shot caller, the one who commands. You decide who sleeps easy and who doesn't. Drugs come in through corrupt guards. Phones arrive via drones in the yard. Money moves through commissary accounts. Everything goes through you. Your wife visits once a month. She brings information in and takes orders out. A man in your neighborhood starts talking to the feds. You make a single phone call. 3 days later, that problem no longer exists. You're inside a cell, but your word still moves the world outside those walls. Level 8, the international leaders. There's still one level above you, and you will never reach it. We're talking about the founders, the men who built MS-13 from nothing in the alleys of Los Angeles in the 1980s. Salvadoran refugees fleeing a civil war who built something so powerful it has lasted 40 years and spread across 2 continents. But before we talk about them, there's something you need to know. The name MS-13 is not random. MS stands for Mara Salvatrucha, where Mara means gang, and Salvatrucha is a slang term for tough and cunning Salvadorans. The 13 represents the 13th letter of the alphabet, the M, which stands for Mexican Mafia, the Mexican Mafia that controlled California prisons in the 1980s. When the first members ended up in jail in Los Angeles, they allied with the Mexican Mafia to survive. And from that moment, they adopted the 13 as a symbol of that alliance. Today, these men are in maximum security prisons in El Salvador. They have no phones, no social media, they give no interviews. They don't appear in any public record that means anything. They are ghosts. And yet, they command everything. When they send an order, that order travels from El Salvador to Los Angeles, to New York, to Houston, to Virginia. Thousands of soldiers carry it out immediately, without asking questions, without hesitating, without ever having seen the face of the man who gave it. In the gang, they are not simply leaders. They are legend. They are the reason the entire structure has held together for 40 years. You are not one of these men. You never will be. Level 9, the end. You're sitting in your car outside your mother's house. It's late. The lights inside are still on. She's old now. You played your part in aging her. The nights without knowing if you were alive. The day she stopped asking questions because the answers were worse than the silence. You've been shot 4 times. You've killed people. You've made hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have nothing to show for it. There is no way out. MS-13 isn't a job you quit. It's what you are. Blood in, blood out isn't a slogan. It's reality. You start the car. You drive to the corner where at 13 years old you stood guard for the first time. There's a kid there, maybe 14 years old. He's on the edge of the group, not yet inside, but working on it. That hunger in his eyes, that silent focus. You were identical to him. You think about stopping, about saying something, but you already know you won't. Because nobody did it for you, you drive away, and the cycle continues. But now someone said enough. In El Salvador, President Nayib Bukele did something no other leader had ever dared to do before. He declared all-out war on MS-13. No negotiations, no deals, no compromises. Mass arrests, military in every neighborhood, and a 40,000 capacity prison built specifically for you. CECOT, from which, officially, nobody will ever leave. The levels you climbed your entire life, soldier, veterano, polero, ranful, shot caller, inside those walls no longer exist. No hierarchy, no respect, no privileges. Just rows of men in white uniforms, shaved heads, sitting in silence on a concrete floor. The cycle stopped. Want to know how the government of a small country destroyed the most dangerous gang in the world in less than 2 years? The full story is in the video above. Don't miss it.